Okay, so I am in Chinatown. This is Chinatown. And I was wanting to put this building that they're building up on video. There's a lot of buildings, and I believe it might be another high-rise luxury apartments. They have plenty of them all the way from Chinatown. You can kind of see they're building up a lot of buildings. A lot of the development and stuff is going on. I'm headed kind of in that direction. I usually travel this route like probably 5 days out of a week. And so what usually I see is a lot of high-rise apartments. They're called like luxury apartments or luxury condos, lofts. And a lot of these units go for $2,000 or $3,000, $2,000 or above $3,000 or more. And so you can kind of see what you know. This is coming from out of Chinatown. Some of it. This is a new development that they're building. They've been working on it for quite a while. And as I drive into this area, I'm gonna also you can see they're still working on it right there. You see it's a lot of traffic and whatnot. But I'm trying to be careful because, you know, I'm on the phone and everything. But, you know, you can see there are a lot of tall buildings and everything. And, you know, we're probably going past Parker Center and what have you. But there's a lot of developments in the area of downtown. A lot of new condos and lofts. Some of the buildings are refurbished buildings. They used to be like maybe hotels or maybe event space, or maybe they were an old building for something else, business buildings, and then they take the buildings, the developers, they take them and they refurbish them, and they eventually end up turning them into overpriced condos, what they call luxury living. Now, what I've discovered that they've been doing recently is that they've been doing some things where they've been taking some of these buildings, and when they do turn them into like lofts and high rises, they end up furnishing them. That's something new. They're now furnishing them, and they're making them where they already have furniture, they already have appliances. That's the new thing out here. I don't know if they're doing that where you live, but that's what they're doing here. These are not actually, well, you might be looking at some hotels. They did say they were going to build some new hotels, but that's when you go closer towards the Staples Center. But I also want you to see, there's like the neighborhoods the streets begin to change as we go further down. So bear with me. You may see, you know, what is just the car, and then you'll see the buildings. As I get close to the buildings, I will try to pan up to some of the buildings, but this is more like the courthouse. This is Hill Street. This is the courthouse that we're going past, actually. Hill Street. A lot of people standing out here. I don't know what they're doing. I'm in my car, so I'm trying to be careful because you know, it's hard to. What is that, Hill Street? That's the courthouse. Yeah, so as I'm driving, I drive this route like 5 days a week. And okay, so now we're coming into the downtown area where they have the high rises and lofts and what have you. And I'm just kind of panning up. I'm doing it really quick. You can kind of see, you know, may not stay on it. You know, there's several developments that they're still building as we're going. You can kind of see a lot of buildings you can get over. A lot of traffic, so some people don't know what they want to do. Just trying to give them a chance to get over or whatever. We're going past Angel's Flight. Looking here. Angel's Flight. It's Angel's Flight. You might hear me moaning, well, like humming. There's a lot of traffic, a lot of buses and what have you, so I'm not really panning up right now. I'm like on the steering wheel. But I'll be talking to you when I'm down, have the cell phone down. But anyway, it's really high price living. It's really expensive to live out here. And it used to not be like that. About 10 years ago, it used to be where you could just like get an apartment. Now this is new. I'm looking at it right now. They just unveiled this. It wasn't there at first. At first it was covered. It was covered up, and there was, you know, you didn't see all of that. That must be another high rise. The developers have been taking all of downtown, and they've been revamping and redoing everything downtown. They're changing the face of downtown as we speak. And so, completely changing it. Oh, thank you. Thank you. And so, yeah, so much going on down here. You know, you got to be careful when you're driving down here, because the crowds of cars, there's lots of traffic. I'm trying to look around and be safe at the same time while I'm doing this. But anyway, this is downtown Los Angeles. Los Angeles. I think this is the Jury Mart. So I gotta be careful looking. You see our buildings. Very tall buildings, very tall buildings. It almost reminds you of New York, sort of. You know, that in the downtown area. So as we go, I will show you. There's some of these buildings that they're high-rise lofts, and they just stay empty. They stay empty, and people can't afford it. It's too expensive. But for people that are wealthy and they can afford $3 grand, $4 grand, $6 grand, some of them will go $6 grand, $7,000. I've seen some things are not developments; they're houses, and they're renting the houses out. So you can lease a house out here, sometimes $8,000, but it'll have like furnishings, appliances, and things like that. And so these are the new things that they've been doing out here. I've discovered new. You probably can hear the music and what have you. These are the cameras, the streets, and the people out here. You see the streets. So we go right here. This is all the downtown. I'm giving you a glimpse of LA firsthand. LA. Anyway, keep driving. And see, look, I don't even have my phone up high, and you can see these tall buildings. I can see the tall buildings. You can see the developments and whatnot. They're still fixing on things. And it's like this every day. You can see the buildings that are old, too. Most of the buildings are old. But some developer, they take them and they refurbish them and they turn them into lofts. And the lofts, the way the lofts look, it's like a huge room. It has a kitchenette, it has bathroom, but it doesn't have a room. It's just one big space, and it's concrete. And that's what the lofts look like. And they're huge, and you can get them. And, people who are like, I guess, trendy into that kind of stuff. Look, they have a sign now, renting. And you don't want to, it says furnished apartments. That's the thing. They have these, there's one right there. You can see it over the trees. I don't know. These old buildings, they take them and they fix them up. and you're gonna be out. Now, most of these are going for $3,000 or more a month. Some of them are $3,000, some of them are $4,000. And if you want something that's in the $1,000, $2,000 range, that's like, it's not going to have furnishings and all that kind of stuff, and it's going to be in another area, not in downtown. But in downtown, a lot of these places are starting at $2,000 or above, $3,000, sometimes $6,000, and up. I was trying to let him go. Sorry, he's right there. Retail and guest space and entry. This is like a high rise. This is called the South Park Windsor, and I think it goes for like $3,000 a month. It's what you call a multi-unit, and it has like a Chipotle underneath, and it's, what do they call it? Mixed use space. And so I know I'm going on this here, just travel, but now we're getting closer to where the neighborhoods are going to begin to change, because we're going to go slowly out of downtown. This building stays empty. Why? Because it's overpriced. It's called the Axis, and it stays empty. Nobody can afford that rent. It's just overpriced. It says now leasing 12th and Broadway. You see the sign? And so it's ready. They probably were still doing work on it, but there were a lot of units there. They were empty. What does it say? Now leasing at 12th and